now that we've signed the lease, we've filed the job with the city, we're up to construction now. What is your role there?
A million things to do, because it's not just building walls. There's IT, AV, security. The furniture, which we talked about just a little while ago. The architect may have drawn in generic workstation, generic benching stations, generic furniture in the offices. You need to bring a furniture vendor on board. You need to identify the kinds of furniture. Sometimes just look, I have a good budget. I'm going to be here for a long time. It's a 10 and 10, 10-year and a 10-year option to renew. I want to spend the money right now and be able to attract good talent into my space. So in a case like that, you may go to 3 or 4 different large furniture manufacturers, test furniture. We've had chairs brought in for people to sit in. Go out to the individual showrooms and you can sit at a workstation. We do mock-ups of everything. The furniture is very, very important. We develop a budget and a schedule up front, and then that's ahead of once we know when the lease is going to get signed, and we understand from a schematic standpoint, we get a set of schematics, and what I say is we pump them up, we 3-dimensionalize them, and say, okay, let me look at this in the 3 dimensions. What do the walls look like? What do the light fixtures look like? Is anything there a long lead time? Marble tile from Italy, and we have all kinds of things. You have to now not just look at a standard cost per square foot, let's say for a tile, but you have to look at where it's coming from and to see if it's made here or made there, because it's before you even get drawings out into the field to see what the pricing could be on the back end. So you do a conceptual budget, you do a conceptual schedule. You look at the client's business cycle and you say, okay, look, this is going to finish in 6 months. It's going to take us to, make this up, October. Client says, my busiest time of the year, I can't be uprooting my entire IT and people and moving them to another building. We have to work around that. So then we model on the financial side. Well, if we did certain work on overtime, can we make it finish before your business cycle, give you time to get in? Those are all real-time things that get.
When is this happening? After the lease is signed or just before?
Look, leases get signed and the occupant hasn't moved out yet.
Right.
Okay. What do you do there? You do a conceptual budget. You do a conceptual schedule. It's called a duration schedule. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and it says the minute we get the space, here's what happens week by week, month by month until you move in. So all you can do is that, and then you track it in real time until you see when you can get the space. And then it's weekly meetings with the project team, weekly meetings with the general contractor, walking the job site. I walk the job site, and I do crazy things. I count electricians. I want to know how many men and women on the various trades are on site. Because if you don't see a lot of people and work is supposed to be happening, then either somebody's not getting paid or some company got a little too busy and they spread their manpower, and really it's going to affect your schedule. So you try to read the tea leaves, and then when you find something, you, as a project manager, you go to the general contractor, say, talk to me about this, talk to me about that, what's going on? You got to resolve the problems. You can't wait for something to go bad. You've got to keep everything moving.
Then you have the punch list.
Punch list is on the back end. Punch list, commissioning. By the way, before all that happens, we've already brought a mover on board. The mover has looked at the existing facility. Some furniture may be going, some not. But a list is developed of what has to go. There's a thing that we do in every move called a purge campaign. When you open up those file drawers, because you've been there for 10 years, there's stuff that you don't need. You don't need to pay a trucking firm to bring that stuff, and then what do you do with it? You throw it out again. So big bins show up at the existing facility. There's a formal purge campaign where people are forced to go through their paperwork and throw out old shoes and things that are sitting that you wouldn't believe are people squirrel away. And then while that's happening on that end and they're preparing for the move, and insurance certificates for both buildings because you're moving out and you're moving in, we're tracking the completion of the construction. The architect will go around and do the formal punch list, the engineers will, and we'll join them, obviously. Once that punch list is developed, we work with the general contractor and the individual trades to get those pieces done. We'll go back and re-inspect to make sure everything is where it needs to be. In a lot of cases, we're modifying the fire alarm system. So the fire department gets involved sometimes. The tests that happen, there are sprinkler tests that happen. All of the commissioning pieces happen ahead of move-in. The last biggie is, are you taking all your technology with you the weekend? I'm going to call it the weekend of the move. Or are you leaving behind what you have? You're populating your IT room with new equipment. You ring out all the lines to every single location, and you're pre-tested before you even move everybody over. So it's programming. It's bringing an architect on board. It's schematic design. It's an assessment of the building itself as an entity. Beyond that, it's looking at the physical space that the tenant is proposed to sign a lease on.